Well, welcome to day two of our podcast, Faith Over Fear. And yesterday we looked at the subject of fear. But today we're going to look at the architecture of true faith. And the question that we need to ask ourselves is, what is faith really? See, true faith is neither what we deny and it's not even fantasy. It is the it is not ignoring the reality of something, and it's not pretending that everything is fine. So faith is the willingness to move forward without having all the answers. And that's why scripture's really good, because in Hebrews 11:1 it says faith is the confidence of what we hope for and the assurance about what we do not see. You see, it's built on what you choose to trust, and it's not based on visible evidence. So, distinguishing thoughtful faith from blind belief, we have this graph here that shows us the difference between the two. You see, when we approach blind belief, says, I believe this with no thought or reflection. But true faith says, I may not see the full picture, but I have reason to trust the direction of it. And the reality of blind belief is this: it's static, it's unmoving, and it refuses to inquire. In other words, it refuses to take the whole picture. It just sticks to what it believes is fact. Whereas dynamic wrestles with the doubt and grows through questioning. And I always think this is really important when we look at how faith, really true faith, really works. So if we look at doubt is the catalyst, not the contradiction. So when we're struggling to understand, doesn't mean that you lack faith. It means that your faith is becoming real. So faith is built on our decisions, not emotional states. See, feelings is confidence versus anxiety, whereas faith is choosing to move forward. Feelings change really daily, and faith is what you do. And so the physical evidence of faith shows up in our actions. It's applying it when we feel unqualified. It's speaking up when our voice shakes, and how many of us done that in public speaking? And taking the first step when the whole path is hidden. I like the example of a car driving a car in the dark on an unlit road. We don't know what's ahead of us, but we trust in the 50 meters that we got for our lights to see the way forward. So the three arenas of uncertainty where faith is built are these. It's like when you're starting something new. When you've had a new job maybe, or it's starting a business, or the chapters where the outcome is unknown. Or it's trusting in a difficult season, where believing that a heavy, uncertain moment is not the end of the story. And it's letting go of control. A big one for today. Releasing outcomes when things are entirely out of our hands. So it causes an illusion of certainty, and it feeds fear. So much of our fear comes from needing certainty. It's about releasing the need to control every outcome is the deepest invitation into trust. So the tension of coexistence is that faith is not the absence of fear. It is the decision that fear does not get the final say. So faith is rarely a dramatic leap. You see, quiet, steadfast, and it's consistent. It's about trusting yourself again after disappointment. It's about letting go of something safe that is no longer right. It's believing you are capable more than your past suggests. And it's simply choosing not to give up. So let's take a moment to pause and to notice what comes up. So, where in your life are you being asked to trust without certainty? And that's uncomfortable. And it's an uncomfortable space, is exactly where faith is trying to grow. So you do not need to have it all figured out. That's really key here. That you do not have to have, to have it all figured out. Trusting is not about seeing the final outcome. It's about moving forward because you believe there is something meaningful ahead. So let's just take one step today that reflects trust. Small steps of faith lead to powerful change. So we've looked at fear and now we've looked at faith. And tomorrow we're going to explore the deep battle between faith and fear.